think two people can build something healthy while they're still healing?
No.
Oh, come on. We're Jen.
And I'm Phil.
And we're Second Chapter Love, sharing honest conversations about love, healing, and hope after heartbreak.
Yeah, so today I'm going to talk about a few different things. I want to start with talking about entering into a relationship while you still carry some pain with you. Do you remember the first time I told you I love you?
I do remember that.
That was very, very hard. That was very, very hard. Because you make a promise. You know, I'm not one of these people that throw that around like I love pizza and I love popcorn. But, I mean, that was a big deal. And there was fear, but we took the leap. And if you're looking for a suggestion, don't be afraid to take a leap, but don't say it if you don't mean it.
Yeah. And I just think you enter in this second chapter, right? We are with divorce behind me, becoming a widower and Philip, and you have this pain that you're still carrying. But if you don't take the chance to enter this relationship and you just think you must be pain-free before I do it, I'm not sure you get there.
No, I'm not. I'm not pain-free today.
Yeah, fair. No, that's super fair.
Yeah, I mean, it still carries some of that pain for you. Holidays and events and stuff. It doesn't. And if you think that it's you're doing this to make the pain go away, I would say don't do that either. It should be an enhancement thereof. It should be like we always talk about the healing process. That it's a process, part of the healing process. What you want it to be really is something new. Mm-hmm. It isn't what it was.
No, and I think with that, there comes, as Philip said, there's still grief. I mean, the holidays are still hard.
Yeah.
And so it's that grief versus being, available. Are those I don't know if they're separate. Right? That grief versus availability. Like,
I don't know that
them as separate?
I don't know that I've ever understood that availability thing. I think you need to explain that to me.
Okay, so availability. For me, everyone's like, are you available to love again? Is your heart ready for that? And maybe it is. The more I say it, it sounds almost ridiculously confusing in a way. And that having done this now and in sharing this second chapter with all of you, I would say the grief doesn't go away completely. So if you're looking to define availability as I'm free, I'm open, I'm ready to love again without grief, I don't think that's a possibility.
I don't either. And you can think about like, well, what causes that to happen? What these things that kind of pop up.
Yeah.
Do you think that any of this stuff is done that you weren't expecting, or do I do anything that you look at it and you go, oh, wow, I really didn't think that was going to happen to me?
No, I think, and maybe we've talked about this in past videos, which are all on YouTube to watch, but I think, we started in this relationship and I don't think either of us knew when grief would hit. And so then that surprise to the other person might have been the surprise for me. It's like, oh my gosh, I didn't know this would be so upsetting to hit this date or this mile marker or, whatever it is in the time that's gone by.
And you get to know each other.
Yeah,
it's like, like I could see it when it hits you. We're going through a time right now where our youngest is graduating high school.
Yeah.
So for me, it brings a whole lot of memories that hurt. My late wife was very sick when
your youngest.
When she graduated from high school. So that kind of dredges up during this process. And then I know for you, I mean, I could see it on you when it's just it's not like, oh, there's a lot involved. As you do, anybody that's got kids will tell you when somebody graduates high school, there's a lot to do. There's a lot involved. And it's not that I think that triggers you off or gets you off. I think it's just every now and then I can see the reality hits you. Mm-hmm. And reality will hit you. And when it hits you, it's a surprise. When getting hit like that is a surprise.
Yeah, you're triggered of, this I never expected to feel this way. And there's your surprise, right? But I think in that and in that time that you're given, and you give yourself the grace to know that patience will grow, I think we probably aren't the most patient people. Maybe
No. I'm terrible. I'll tell you right now, that was when God was handing out those graces, I think I was getting popcorn or something and wasn't paying attention because
your patience card was missing.
No.
But I don't know. I think
one of my favorite things to do to her is we'll go to the restaurant, we'll order, the waitress will walk away, and 3 seconds later I'll look at her and say, "Where's our food?"
Oh my gosh. And he's joking, but he's not. But I think you learn patience with each other. And it's not just regular patience. It's not just the silly things, but it's the patience within the second chapter in this kind of health, this healthy while we're both still healing. You have to have patience for the other person, and you have to have patience with the relationship together that's growing, and you don't know what it's going to look like. So if you're expecting, I remember once doing something and said, you're expecting God on his best day. That's not an option. You have to be patient for the other person. But still, for me, I wanted that love, and I wanted to be able to both give the love to Philip during that, hurting and healing period, but I also wanted to feel it.
Let's take a minute and define love. Okay. I believe, and I think this comes from a place of faith, that love is the putting the needs of the other person ahead of your own, even to the sake of pain. This is why they say there is no greater love than to give of yourself, right? So if that's what love is, right? If love is wanting more for the other person,
sure.
So for me,
yeah,
I didn't want love. I'd already had love. What I wanted was the individual. I wanted you.
I think I remember once saying, I wanted somebody to go out to dinner with. I wanted somebody to go to the movies with. I wanted someone to talk to.
So we became best friends.
And then that's what happened.
Little did I know that she doesn't go to movies, but that's okay. That's okay. We all make sacrifices. She's got to put up with me. It's a small price to pay. Right?
Well, and I think there's that, this is the next one for me. That support versus fixing.
Okay. Oh, you're never gonna fix me.
Don't fix. Come on. I think that's just from the very beginning of any relationship.
All right, gentlemen. Anybody out there put the pants into the laundry with the Kleenex still in the pocket? How about that one? That ain't changing.
I can't fix that. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I think there is a difference between fixing and supporting.
And that's, what, I kind of stumbled on something here.
What's that?
Back to another thing of patience. This is something that, like a little idiosyncrasy like that I have that you just can't fix, right? But you're patient with me.
Well, because I realize this is now your second wife who's had to deal with this. And I figure, when we meet in heaven, this is
I'm in trouble.
Way at the top of the list to discuss. So yeah, you are in trouble. But I love you.
Yeah.
And so
Did you say that again?
I love you. But that's what comes with love. And I think what defines the second chapter is that you've learned all these things. And if you haven't, let's take a few steps back and kind of dig into that a bit. But right now we're talking about, that healing process. It will still be going on.
Yeah.
It still will be.
Today.
Right?
Yeah. It still does today.
I think, I would argue that the feelings though that, within the healing that help us heal is that feeling of safety. I don't take that lightly. I think, that feeling of feeling safe in a relationship.
I'm sorry, what were we saying?
Well, we had to let the dog out. And now the dog's barking. So anyway, if you have dogs, you get it. And if you have Aussies, you really get it.
This is actually the best part,
So,
Oh, for God's sakes.
Well, third time's a charm. So, I think our dogs try and make us feel safe, but they're the biggest babies on the planet. But I know that something in the second chapter is the feeling of safety, and safety in a relationship where I can be me, I can be ridiculous, I can do all of my idiosyncrasies and have someone kind of still tell me I'm okay.
You're okay, even if you do clean before we eat.
It's kind of a thing.
It's okay. Yeah, that safety's a thing, right? You're supposed to feel safe in your relationship.
Right.
I would say that if you're starting something new and you don't feel that, that should be a signal to you that something is awry, whether within you or with the other person or the two of you together. Because you should be able to talk to the person, and because it didn't take long for me anyways. I don't know about you, you're probably still working on that. But for to be able to just absolutely kind of let go and let everything go. And, gosh, I mean, early on, we were telling each other things that we hadn't told other people.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's an interesting point about, you talk about safety. You said in yourself or in yourself. Sometimes it's you, like it's me that is the one that's like self-sabotaging the relationship or the situation. But somehow, I had one moment where I was worried about you, but you weren't feeling well.
Oh,
sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but it was like our second date, and I was like, I don't know, I'm not getting a sense this guy's.
You know what the big thing was? I'll tell you the truth. I'm just going to lay it all on the line. I went to our second date, and I had shaved, and I was not being myself the way I was before, and she started like almost like crying because
I wasn't.
You were like upset. You were
clicked
like
so quickly, and then
something's not right. And something went wrong, and I was like, I'm sick. Here's what's not right. I'm enjoying this so much with you that's sick. I got in the car and drove 45 minutes to spend time with you.
I know. Well, and because I think we've talked about this was spring of 2020. We all remember, and we talked for so long through FaceTime, through telephone, and sound like I'm 90 through the phone, and we texted all of it. And then so when we met in person, we met outside for the first time, and it was the second date. It seemed like it was eons after we had first connected. Yeah. So that was sort of where that came from. But
I thought you would have known that I was sick.
I know. Well, and I think, speaking of healing, you got better. Thank goodness.
I did. Thank
God.
And but let's talk. Take a minute. Let's talk about healing from relationships.
Okay.
Healing from the emotional pain, because getting sick and getting better. In most instances, I mean, we go through a lifetime where that happens multiple times, sometimes in a year. Mm-hmm. You get sick, you get better. You get sick, you get better. Some things you don't get better from.
Yeah.
You don't.
No.
And sometimes it kills you. And, obviously don't let that happen. But there are other things that, I heard this somewhere else, so I'm going to paraphrase it, but it's not, this isn't mine, but it is so true. Okay. When you, cut your hand, and you have that cut, and it hurts so bad, and as it takes forever to heal. Every time you touch it, it gets bad, and then when it's healed over, you're left with that scar that you can always see to remember that pain. When you lose your loved one, whether through divorce, it never heals. Mm-hmm. In fact, it's like living without. It takes the whole hand. Yeah. And you learn to live with one hand. You do. And you still there are plenty of people that with one hand that do golf and do all kinds of other things. So my point in this is that it can be devastating and not all-encompassing to the point where it's going to tear you down to nothing. Yeah. That's when it wins. Don't let it win. There are other things that you can't fight that's going to happen with you. But I'm going to tell you that if you get divorced and your ex-husband's there and your ex-wife's there, and you're constantly dealing with that, and you're dealing with your ex-wife's kids or your ex-husband's kids, and the damage that somebody else did to them, and you got to pick up all that stuff. If you love and if you care, and if that person is the right person for you, and you are the right person for them, it's worth the struggle. Yeah. It is worth the effort to get to learn to live with one hand. And you're not going to find that it's this linear straight path to absolutely heal if you ever feel like you've actually healed. It's gonna go off course. It's gonna come back. You're gonna have great days. You'll have horrible days. But being there for one another and being, going back to that feeling of safety and safe heart is what can make a second chapter so special. And so successful. I talk a lot about, because I talk a lot about in these things about, losing my wife and you breaking up with your husband. What would you tell somebody that was starting? What would you say to somebody let's say that they're at that point? Because I think if you're reading this or watching this, you're at the point where I'm ready for what comes next. What would you say? I would say, it's so simple. It's like, you just have to go for it.
if you're in your, I don't know where you fall, 40s, 50s, 60s, go for it, 70s, let's do it. And, you just have become a different person. You're like, I don't care about all this garbage behind me. And I'm ready to just be me. I follow so many really cool people online that they're just taking us like this second chance with their life. And most of them are just saying, you just have to go for it. You just have to say, this is going to be me. I'm going to get up tomorrow and I'm going to go for it. But I also think before that comes a lot of journaling or a lot of, talking to others, connecting with us, making you have some rah-rah in your back pocket. Like, who's your cheerleader that's going to get out there? And for you, we hope it's us. And I would just say you have to just go for it and give it a try. We don't know how many days we have left. So don't waste any more of them. Just go for it. What would you say?
What would I say? Like if I met another me, like a guy that had lost his wife and
sure. And again, anybody who wanted to give it give a second chapter a possibility, what would you say?
Tough luck, pal. She's taken.
Oh, good God. He's stuck with all my idiosyncrasies.
I love them.
You're lucky
them all. Yeah. No, what would I say?
What would you say?
Here's something another thing. I'm really good at quoting other people's truisms, but this is a good one. When you realize that today is not just another day, it's one less day, you realize how short that window is. We don't know. We just lost a friend recently who had kids was actually a little bit younger than Jen. And I'm here to tell you that it's an eye-opener when these things happen, okay? Go out and live.
Yeah.
Walk in the grass, smell the fresh air. Work is a good tool for healing. Routines, we talked about that in our last video. Routines are good things for healing. But don't be afraid to take a leap and take vacations and travel together. In another video, we'll tell you about our first trip together. And it's important. I think maybe I'll leave it right there.
I think that's where we leave it.
Thank you for listening, for being a part of our second chapter.
Thank you for that. And if these conversations encourage you, we encourage you to subscribe and join us every week as we share more of our second chapter and encourage you to get back out.
Yeah, I want to help people, give them nuggets and things we'll say things that we've done that's worked for us. But don't be afraid to pop us a comment and say, hey, you guys are all wet. I need to know what happens when you do this, But what if I love the guy and this? And we're not counselors or professional. We're just a second set of eyes and people that have been through it.
Let us be your cheerleader.
Amen.